You are listening to the Glenn Beck Radio Program podcast.
Forgetting Valentine's Day is just about as bad as, maybe even worse, than forgetting her birthday or your anniversary. You forget Valentine's Day in your toast. In fact, do it right now. Get a dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase for $19.99, or double the roses, 2 dozen roses, and the premium vase for $9.99 more. It's easy. It's quick. It's proflowers.com. They will deliver on Valentine's Day, guaranteed. And you can't beat the price or the convenience. Choose the delivery date. You want it on Valentine's Day? You want it the day before Valentine's Day? You choose. But order right now. Here's the way you can get the limited time Valentine's deal. 1 dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase, $19.99, or upgrade to 2 dozen assorted roses with a premium vase for $9.99 more. 1-800-PRO-FLOWERS, 1-800-PRO-FLOWERS, or proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone at the top hand corner and type in my name, Glenn. Proflowers.com. Click on the microphone, type in Glenn. Order today. Deal expires Friday at midnight.
You're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Hello, you sick freak. Today's program, Senator Rand Paul. He's coming in hour number 3, and I've got a pretty extensive interview that I'm doing with him next week. It'll air next week, so we're taping it today. And because Stu has a problem, won't give up the studio or anything else, I have to go.
I have a problem. When's the last time you, when a guest came in, you had to get up from your desk and leave all your stuff and reset up over and stand next to Jeffy for freaking 20 minutes?
So, seeing that it is the Glenn Beck program, I would say that answer is never.
Okay, how about Pat? When's the last time Pat had to do it? When's the last time Jeffy had to do it? Oh, wait, it's only me every time. I forgot about that.
No, we kick Jeffy out of the studio entirely. So it's you and Jeff, and I would have to say, all you have to be is my best friend. I mean, it's nepotism. Yeah. You have to be my best friend since 1989, and you know, you get the privilege of sitting in here.
I'm just maybe we could. You know what? I don't have to get up. I don't have to do it, and I'm not going to do it.
Well, we don't have another place for him, so...
Well, you'll have to find another place for him.
There is no other place.
There's no other place in this entire studio that we could put Rand Paul, put a microphone on a desk or anything. There's no other place.
I'm sure you can get the people that understand what happens with the studio.
You have to get the microphone there. You got I mean, it's got to be plugged in.
We'll discuss this later. Here's the thing. So out in the hallway, and if you happen to be watching on the Blaze TV, I'll show you. And I don't know who did this. But we had some artwork done in the hallway last night because I'm going to be doing it in the center of the broadcast center here. And somebody spray painted Rand Paul 2016 there on the wall. And so I don't know. I guess we're going to have to talk about what he might be doing in 2016 now.
Do you think Rand broke in and did it?
Could have been. Go ahead and show that again. You'll notice that it is next to a guy, looking like he's trying to shoot down a drone under the words of the Fourth Amendment. So that's unfortunate. And could you go to the next panel, please? Go to the next wall, because there's also some other new artwork. And then it's, David and Goliath with the New York Times, which we have to talk about too, what Rand has done with the New York Times. But also this panel. This one, I think this is incredible. Now, these things are, I don't even know, what are they, 25 feet tall?
Yeah, they're huge.
Is that incredible?
There seems to be a child at a lemonade stand
with a SWAT team.
With a SWAT team surrounding the child. The child's arms are up
at the lemonade stand. Isn't that great? All right, so you can see that at the Blaze TV, or we'll post those. But anyway, we put those up last night for the interview that we're going to be doing with Rand Paul today, and he's going to be doing a radio interview with us, and then And I do want to ask him about his support for
Mitch
what's
McConnell.
his puss? Yeah, Mitch McConnell. I do want to, because I have this theory. I talked to Matt Bevin last night, and I said, Matt, let me tell you something. I got to believe that Rand Paul can say whatever he wants. He can go in and say, oh, no, I'm absolutely for Mitch McConnell. But when that curtain is closed, he's pulling the Matt Bevin lever. He's pulling. There's no way. You can say whatever you want, Rand, but you're pulling the Matt Bevin lever, and you and I both know it. So we're going to have a little chat about that today.
Yeah, I would like to. Well. That was one we have not asked him yet. And there was a story a while ago, sort of behind the scenes of Rand Paul's career in the Senate, and the story was basically about how Mitch McConnell very early sort of adopted him as a little brother and helped shepherd him through all the. Yeah, I mean,
he's not stupid.
So
I mean, I have to tell you, the most honest thing that anybody in television ever said to me was Bill O'Reilly. We're on a plane, and Bill had been, and no matter what anybody says, Bill was a friend from the very beginning.
And of yours?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, he was.
No, he was. I mean, he called me in at one point, and, this was early on, and he said, so what are you doing exactly? Why are you here? What are you doing? And you're playing, and I talked to him, and he said, you're playing a short game. You got to play a long game. And I said, no, Bill, I have no intention of being here very long. I'm going to say what I have to say, and then I'm gone. And he said, why would you do that? He said, you'll be here for a long time. And I said, I didn't intend to. I don't want to. This is not what I wanted to do. And he said to me, look, you're going to need some backup. Let me help you with backup. He was really, really gracious. And, and he gave me advice and everything else, and I usually didn't take it, which, much to his chagrin and probably to my detriment, I didn't ever take his advice. But he was so good. We were on a plane once, and I said, Bill, you don't ever have to help me. And he said, are you kidding me? He said, look at it. First of all, I like you. He said, but second of all, I'm not stupid. He said, I'm up here and you're a refueling tanker. That's what you are. You're a refueling tanker. I'm coasting up here and you're going to put a little extra fuel in my tanks. And he's right. And I thought to myself, who else says that? Who else has the confidence and the secure place in his own mind where he's comfortable to say that? Everybody else would be like, no, kid, I'll tell you, I'll do you some more favors. He wasn't doing me any favors. He liked me. He was being a good gentleman, but he was also a smart businessman.
Good teammates.
Yeah, I mean, it was really the most honest thing and the most genuine thing I had seen anyone in television do. That's why I am loyal to Bill O'Reilly to the core, because he's smart, he knows what he's doing, and he's a decent guy.
And if you go back on those interviews that you did with him, and you see what pissed people off from time to time when he was asking you, there was always a good reason for what he did.
Yeah,
there was always a good reason. It was always helping. He was not trying to bring you down.
No.
He was poking. He was trying to get out of you what he
allowed me to be funny.
Yeah.
He always allowed me to be funny.
Every time.
Yeah, I mean,
there's method to his madness, for sure.
He is absolutely brilliant. He's brilliant. So anybody... Because I read some stuff this morning. People are still upset about this, interview that he did. Bill O'Reilly, he should have been tougher. He should have done this. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Trust me. There is nobody smarter on television than Bill O'Reilly when it comes to being able to navigate these waters and stay as broad as he. You don't want him to be narrow. You want him to have that broad audience. So anyway. The thing that I wonder is Mitch McConnell, when he comes in, when Rand Paul comes in, Mitch McConnell's no dummy. He sees, here's a guy in his own state that's starting just to rocket to the top. I'm sure Mitch McConnell was like, buddy, I am going to clear all, but I doubt he was genuine enough to say, look, here's the thing. I am so right with you. Now, I haven't talked to the senator, and I don't think I'm going to ask him any of these questions because I'm just not going to ask him because he won't tell me the truth anyway. Nobody would. It would not be gracious to say. But here's my guess on what happened. Mitch McConnell thinks he's playing Rand Paul. Oh, I'm going to give him absolutely everything, and Rand. And I think because of Rand's father, Rand knows how the game has been played for decades and knows exactly who everybody is and knows exactly how the game is played. And so he's like, oh, Mitch, I'm so great. That curtain closes, Matt Bevin. And I don't want to know if it's not that way. I don't want to know. I want to hold out that.
Well, look, though, he could have just stayed neutral. He did not. He's endorsed Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I think he obviously he sees something that maybe we don't see, and maybe we can learn about that. I don't know what it is.
I am going to ask him about that. What the hell is wrong with you with Mitch McConnell?
That's a good way to ask it, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
And you can ask him in whatever desk he's in during the interview.
I think I have a desk.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I hope you do.
All right. So let me stay here on Rand Paul for a second. Rand Paul has done a couple of things that I want to talk about. First of all, the Fourth Amendment. I want to know if he thinks it's a violation of the Third Amendment, because I've never heard of a violation of the Third Amendment. But I think what the cops did in Florida is a violation of the Third Amendment, which is you can't quarter anybody. The cops can't, or the government can't quarter people in your home. And I think when they came in and said, you got to leave because we have a situation next door, and we're just going to set up shop here, and you can't be here, I think that's quartering in your home, isn't it? Isn't that a violation of the Third Amendment? Does anybody know? Have we heard from any attorneys on that one?
The one problem we did talk about yesterday was that they're not soldiers technically. I mean, I don't know if that would be...
Okay, so it would be just the spirit of the thing.
It seems like the spirit is sort of...
All right. Well, I didn't know you got to get down to... Well, it does say soldiers. It's like the Second Amendment. Well, where's the comma? Come on, guys. Also... did you see what Rand Paul said about Bill Clinton?
Yeah. It's an interesting case to be taking up.
He's talking about...
Something about him being a serial philanderer?
Yeah, well,
something?
he's saying, you want to talk about a real war on women.
Yeah.
Look at what's happening with Woody Allen. Look at what is happening with... I mean, here's a serial predator, Bill Clinton, and look at how everybody holds him up in his on their shoulders. And it's true. It's absolutely true. Is that what Maureen Dowd was talking about in her... look up her last
I did read
editorial.
That. Did not seem as...
Because I don't know if it was on this, but she was like, I think Rand Paul is right, and I don't want him to be right. She's like, I'll never be a conservative, yada, 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 but...
No, they hate to. They hate to admit that.
Oh, they would hate to.
They hate to actually defend women on issues important to women.
All of the things, you look at the things that are in our hallway right now, it is amazing. If you look at the Fourth Amendment, we have now up in the hallway, we have a huge piece of art that is about the Fourth Amendment and the drones. And the government shouldn't use drones to spy. That is the left's argument from right after the World Trade Center. That was the argument of the left. The next one is about giant corporate media just stomping down on anybody else that has a voice. That's the left's argument. The next one is about the SWAT team swooping in to shut down people like the little, lemonade stand. That's the left's argument. We are on the argument of the left all the time now. They have just completely abandoned all of what they thought were their principles. We were stupid enough to think that it would never come to this. We really, at least I did. I really thought, no, we're all Americans. We all really love the Constitution. We all love... when I had somebody tell me, somebody really that would shock the snot out of you, when I had somebody tell me, Glenn, we all love the Constitution. We all love it. I don't know what happened to my microphone. There it is. We all love the Constitution. But, there are things that we have to do. Excuse me? No, not outside the Constitution. No, there's not. And I really didn't see that coming. I had no idea. I really thought that we all kind of loved the Constitution and we would follow the Constitution. No. So where's the left now? We win in the end. We do win in the end because those positions that they were staking out were the right positions. We were wrong when we said, no, you know what? No, it's not going to turn into a police state. No, we have to do these things for security. We were wrong. You were right. So now where are you now? Because you have a whole country ready to rally around that. And it's amazing because it is Mike Lee, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul that are leading that way. And when you start looking at the next election, you find the people, not Mitch McConnell, Matt Bevin. You find the people that will rally around those guys. You find the people that will actually do this. I think the Mitch McConnell thing can actually, I think this could actually hurt Rand Paul. It'll be the right move if Mitch McConnell wins. It will hurt him in 2016 if he was the guy who was supporting, the old guard. And he'll have to explain it. But when we come back, I want to spend a couple of minutes on the whole idea of Bill Clinton and Woody Allen being the rallying point for the left when they're supposed to be so for women and the war on women. We'll talk a little bit about that, and also the emotional moment last night, something I've never seen in television ever before. I have never seen a network try to kill itself as much as NBC has. They've done it now with their news. They used to have credible news. They have no credibility. They're down to 3% credibility now on their news. And now with Jay Leno is stomping. This would be the third time that they have fired him. It doesn't make any sense. I've never seen anybody so suicidal as NBC. But they did it again, and Jay Leno was classy as ever and went out the way Jay Leno should go out. But I don't think that's the end of Jay Leno by any stretch of the imagination. We'll talk about that coming up.
Glenn Beck.
The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
My wife and I have decided that Valentine's Day is a stupid, stupid holiday. And actually, no, I've decided it was a stupid, stupid holiday. She has grown to accept that I'm not going to do anything great on Valentine's Day because there's too much pressure. And so what we've come to is freshly dipped gigantic berries from Sherry's Berries. They're starting at $19.99. Now that's over a 40% savings. You can also double the berries for just $10 more. They're dipped in white milk and dark chocolatey goodness. I mean, it is really good. 40% off now from Sherry's Berries. In the old days, we would have thought, oh, this is so romantic. Now we sit around the kitchen and we just open the box and we eat them and laugh at ourselves. It's Sherry's Berries. Call 866-FRUIT-02. 866-FRUIT-02. Or go to BERRIES.com. That's berries.com. Click on the microphone. Type in my name, Glenn. Order today. Berries.com.
Glenn Beck.
So we just got an email. I thought you were for Ted Cruz. No, I'm for any. I'm for any of these guys. I'm for freedom. What do you say? Actually, I would like Ted Cruz to be president and Rand Paul to be vice president, or Rand Paul to be president and Ted Cruz to be vice president, or Mike Lee to be president and Rand and Ted to be co-vice president. I don't care.
Alternate days or something, maybe? Okay.
They can all be president of the United States. But, here's something that I think is really exciting, is when we were looking for candidates in the last presidential election, when we were looking for candidates like Matt Bevin in 2010, we couldn't find them. We couldn't find them. We're like, really, this is the best we can do? Look at the choices we have. We have great freedom choices right now. And there are great people that are running for Senate. These are not your run-of-the-mill, okay, well, I'll take them. These are quality candidates that understand the Constitution and will fight for our principles. I think this is great. We're not looking at Marco Rubio's. We thought Marco Rubio was good, but we're like, okay, I don't really know. Is he a kind of a Jeb Bush kind of guy? Yeah, it turns out, yeah, he is.
He's that bad, but yeah.
He's on the road to Jeb Bush. I mean, Jeb Bush had his good times, too.
Sure.
He was good time Charlie for a while, too. And, but
Yeah, so was George. And H.W. for a while. The only one who wasn't good time Charlie was Neil. Yeah. The forgotten Bush.
The forgotten Bush. No, you know what? I don't think H.W. was ever.
Maybe
well,
not.
no, you know what? During the first Gulf War, he executed war the way it should be,
and we liked him a lot. Then.
Yeah, do it, move on, get out.
Yeah,
I mean that was the first Gulf War was executed
His approval
properly.
rating was 90%.
Yeah, because
at that time, remember that
he did what the second George Bush should have done.
Right,
go in, fight it, get out.
No nation building, none of that.
Yep. Oh, darn. We broke some of your stuff?
Sorry.
Ha!
Bye-bye.
Don't do it again. Back in just a second.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network. The Glenn Beck program returns.
All right. So the war on women that Rand Paul has been talking about, I have to tell you, I really like, because finally somebody is saying it. Hey, how can we be the ones that are having a war on women as conservatives when we're not saying you have to make a certain choice? We're saying you can go out and be in the business community, you can run anything you want, and you can also be the CEO of the house. You can stay home with your kids. You can do whatever it is you want. How is that a war on women where the left says, oh, you're choosing that? That's a war on women. How are we the ones war on women when half of the babies that are aborted would grow up to be women? How is that? And I'm so sick of people like Barbara Walters talking about the war on women when she is defending people like Woody Allen, where there's just no way that you can give Woody Allen the benefit of the doubt. Doesn't mean you convict him, but honestly, if Woody Allen is coming over and you have an 8-year-old daughter, are you leaving Woody Allen alone with your 8-year-old daughter? No. No way. No way. How can you still treat Bill Clinton as a sex symbol when you know he's a serial philanderer? Now, I don't know about the Sizemore thing. I mean, were you lying to me then or are you lying to me now?
He says he was lying to you then.
Yeah, I know.
But then again, if he was lying to you now, that's what he'd say.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I was thinking about it, and I think you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to know. It sounds...
You know the fires of hell. As soon as he said it, fires of hell came down on him.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine?
And so it would be understandable for him to say, I made that up in a drunken stupor, as he had made the admission as he denied, ever knowing anything about Bill Clinton and Elizabeth Hurley.
Play the audio. This is the drunken stupor audio. They say he was in a drunken stupor. Listen.
So I take my phone out, and I thought for a second, I went, maybe I should ask her if I can give it. He gave me a look, a withering look. He went, you dumb. I'm not, look, he made it funny for me. He went, what do you call himself? I'm the commander-in-chief. Yeah. I'm the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. The buck stops here. Give me your number right now. This makes it all different if I give it to him, and it makes it more intimate. And I gave him the number, and he punched it in his phone, and he called her right in front of me. Like, let's hope she picks up. It was like that, and just like a kid would, just like a man would go. She picks up, and he goes, like we're friends. He goes, Elizabeth, This is your commander-in-chief. I'm not you.
I mean, the way he tells it sounds pretty...
It doesn't sound like the people around him even believe it, though. So, anyway, so now he comes out and he says this.
No, it's not true. I was never at the White House, and I never met Bill Clinton.
Have you ever been to the White House at all?
I went to a screening of Black Hawk Down, but it wasn't in the White House. It was at a theater near the White House. But I've never been to the White House to meet our president, any president.
So there you go.
Now, there would have been a time when
his lawyer's sitting next to him when he's saying that, by the way. So, I mean, you know that he's been threatened with lawsuits, maybe from the Clintons, probably, certainly from Elizabeth Hurley. I'll bet you he had to make that denial.
Though, I mean,
whether it's true or not.
He had to.
He didn't intend for that to be public, though. How can he be sued over it? I mean, if someone records you and you don't know necessarily what's going on and you say something...
I have no idea.
Either way, don't you think the Clintons, with Hillary's potential presidential run, they don't need that?
You know,
they're going to scare the hell out of him either way.
Stu was saying in the morning meeting before we went on, he was talking about Hillary and how Hillary, she may not be the one that actually gets the nomination, even though she is, 40 points ahead. And he said, look, she was way ahead at this time last time.
In 2008, yeah.
But Barack Obama was the key. That was an orchestrated takeout. That was not, Barack Obama had that natural momentum, but I really truly believe the Clinton machine was called off. The Clinton machine was called off. Remember, she was right there at the end in Las Vegas and was like, okay, you know what? We're in the boat. We're in his boat. Mm-hmm. That was called off. She's not going to call it off this time.
No, it's her last chance.
Right. They called it off because, look, I'm telling you, with everything in me, I believe a deal was made. I believe a Soros meeting happened. And look, Center of American Progress, this guy will be clear sailing. He's going to get all of the health care done. He's going to get everything. Then your turn. And you will get the turn next. And you will just finish it off. But by that time, it will be so late that there will be no stopping it anyway. So you'll be the first president of the new United States. He's going to fundamentally transform it. I know this is Hollywood script writing, but this is an easy one to buy into. So if you think that she's going to actually not be the candidate, remember, the Democratic Party is no different than the GOP. They have their little person that they have chosen has played dutifully well and everything. Okay, it's your turn. It's her turn. And you don't screw with the Clintons. Don't screw with the Clintons. So it's going to be her. And there's a lot of Democrats. This is really good news. There are a lot of Democrats that don't like her. There's a lot of Democrats that are like, I don't want another Clinton. And there will be a lot of Democrats that might even like her that are like, okay, we've had enough. We've had enough. It's like us. I've had enough of the Bushes. I don't want Jeb Bush. I don't want Neil Bush. I don't want, what's his name, Joe P. Bush. I don't want any of the Bushes.
I don't even want Tito Marlin or Jermaine Bush. None of them.
I don't want any of them. And I really think that the Democrats might be exactly the same way. Mm-hmm. And if you have a constitutionalist, not a Republican, but a constitutionalist that is like, hey, this NSA stuff is really spooky. What they're doing on spying on people with the IRS, really spooky. We don't want to go that. You win. You win. So
when another story surfaces about Bill Clinton philandering with women, that's the last thing they need out there. Even 2 years away from the race, they want to squash this right now. I'll bet you, the fires of hell came down.
Oh, you can guarantee the fires of hell came down. By the way, there is the Unbridled Liberty Tour that's going to be at the Met Center in Erlanger, Kentucky tomorrow afternoon. Blaze Radio's Doc Thompson is going to MC the event. Tom and Deneen Borelli from FreedomWorks are going to speak, as will Matt Bevin, who is running for Senate against Mitch McConnell. Doors open at 1. Speakers begin at 1:45. The event is absolutely free. For more information, go to eventbrite.com, eventbrite.com. It's the Unbridled Liberty Tour at Met Center tomorrow in Erlanger, Kentucky, tomorrow afternoon. Doors open at 1 o'clock, and it is absolutely free. Go see Matt Bevin and see what you think of him. If you haven't seen him yet, if you haven't made your mind up on Matt Bevin, go see what you think. Do we have time to do the farewell of Jay Leno? Let's do this. Let's do the song first. Here is the farewell for Jay Leno, and they kind of did it like The Sound of Music. And a lot of people, Jack Black and
Billy Crystal,
Oprah,
Carol Burnett.
Yeah. So here's the farewell last night.
There's a sad sort of clanging from the clock in the hall, and the bells in the steeple too. And all the executives that run NBC are popping in to say you're through. You're through. You're through. You're through. Regretfully they tell me, but firmly they compel me to say goodbye to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Black. So long, farewell, I'll be listening, my dear. It's Valentine, she'll be back here next year. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Kardashian.
So long, farewell. Last night I told my folks, now I won't be the butt of Leno's jokes.
Ladies and gentlemen, NBA superstar Chris Paul. So long, farewell. You've won the late night race, but I don't care. The Clips are in first place. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheryl Crow.
So long, farewell. I give a little wave, but not for Jay. I want to get on Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Parsons. So long, farewell. We've watched you and we're weary. Your great success is called the Big Chin Theory. The one and only Carol Burnett.
Wow, she's old.
I'm here, so what the hell? For your last show, I'll do the Tarzan yell. Oh!
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Oprah Winfrey. So long, farewell. You really raised the bar. If you were me, you'd buy them all a car. The time has come to stop the late night talking into the sunset. Now we'll see Jay walking. Goodbye. Goodbye.
There it is. Jay Leno, very, very good. And then he had a very tearful exit that was worth hearing in case you missed it. We'll give that to you coming up in just a few minutes.
Oh, here I am. Hello, America.
The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
Alpha Tax Extreme Beam. We have these up at our house in the mountains, and I'm telling you, I can practically see the top of the mountain with this Extreme Beam. First of all, the company believes in truth, freedom, and liberty, and they spread the gospel around the globe by using light. It's a great company, and their LED flashlights are hand-built and virtually indestructible. They're focusable, they're waterproof, they're weapon-mountable, their battery life is the best in the class, and best of all, their beam goes thousands of feet. It outperforms every other flashlight on the market. It is truly a remarkable flashlight. Military and police teams from all over the world depend on Extreme Beam's top performance and reliability, and so does my family. They have a lifetime warranty, and you get 15% off when you use the promo code GLENN. Go to extremebeam.com now and see them in person at Sportsman's Warehouse stores nationwide. Extreme Beam, truly shining a light in the face of darkness.
February 12th on The Blaze, the truth returns to journalism with For the Record. No political agendas, no compromising. A news program that's fair but unforgiving and isn't afraid to dig deep and tell the real stories that matter. Wednesday, February 12th on the season premiere. For the Record investigates why the federal government has turned its back on the victims of the Fort Hood massacre. For the Record, Wednesday, February 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I'll tell you, it is a real, that's a real eye-opening episode. For the Record, the smartest and best investigative news show on all of television or on internet. Let me go to the heartfelt goodbye given by Jay Leno last night. Really touching.
This has been the greatest 22 years of my life. I am the luckiest guy in the world. I got to meet presidents, astronauts, movie stars. It's just been incredible. I got to work with lighting people who made me look better than I really am. I got to work with audio people who made me sound better than I really do. And I got to work with producers and writers. And just all kinds of talented people who make me look a lot smarter than I really am. I'll tell you something. First year of this show, I lost my mom. Second year, I lost my dad. Then my brother died. And after that, I was pretty much out of family. And the folks here became my family. Consequently, when they went through rough times, I tried to be there for them. The last time we left this show, you might remember, we had the 64 children that were born among all our staffers that married. And that was a great moment. And when people say to me, hey, why didn't you go to ABC? Why didn't you go to Fox? Why didn't you go? I didn't know anybody over there. These are the only people I've ever known. I'm also proud to say this is a union show, and I have never worked. I have never worked with a more professional group of people in my life. They get paid good money, and they do a good job. And when the guys and women on this show would show me the new car they bought or the house up the street here in Burbank that one of the guys got.
He is truly a remarkable and decent, classy man. He's made us a better America.
The Glenn Beck program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
You're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
I want to play the Jay Leno farewell because I don't think I have heard a farewell like this really maybe ever before. And I think Jay Leno is a much better man. And we always look at him, and is he funny? What was his monologue? But we never really look at him as a guy. And I think we should, because I think he is really truly one of the true good guys in our society. Listen to this farewell, and I want to point out a couple of things.
This has been the greatest 22 years of my life. The luckiest guy in the world. I got to meet presidents, astronauts, movie stars. It's just been incredible. I got to work with lighting people who made me look better than I really am.
Listen to this.
I got to work with audio people who made me sound better than I really do. And I got to work with producers and writers. And just all kinds of talented people who make me look...
Here is a guy who has hung out with presidents. He has hung out with everybody. And yet, that's just, he met them, and that's neat. But the people, who talks about the audio guy? Who in television talks about the audio guy? Who in television talks about the lighting guy? Who in television talks about the cameraman? Nobody. He is a good man. When I first met Jay, I thought he's just another guy on TV. I don't know if we've ever told the situation at the Tonight Show, but I think we can tell it now because Jay's gone. But when we first went to the Tonight Show, it was at the zenith of things, and we were doing, I think, the Christmas sweater movie come out, or the was that what was going on? Not the movie, but remember the movie thing we did the year after? Was that what was happening? For some reason, we were highlighting the Christmas sweater, and the Tonight Show had been trying to get us on for a long time, and I avoid those things like the plague. I'm not interested in them, and quite honestly, Andy Williams had called. And I had just done something with Andy Williams. And Andy and I had kind of this really nice bond because of my childhood and something that he had done that I remembered when I was a kid. And so we had become kind of, loose friends. I can't claim we were friends, but... And so we went to Los Angeles because Andy Williams said... Why don't you come down and see my Christmas show? I want you to come backstage, and I want you to see my Christmas show. Well, I know this sounds silly, but that was a dream come true for me. I would love to see it. So I think he was in Palm Springs. And so we were on our way to go see the Andy Williams show. And I said, well, we're in Los Angeles. Let's just do the Tonight Show too. But we said, we want to make it all about Christmas. We don't want to talk about, why is the president a racist or anything like that. We're just going to talk about Christmas. And so they agreed to it. And, you don't know behind the scenes the negotiations that happen when somebody goes on a show. At least if you have a good PR person, there are negotiations that are involved. And we had a guy who was very friendly. He was the only conservative on the Tonight Show staff. And he was leaving. And so he, it was one of the last things he wanted to do was to get us on and to make sure that we were treated right. And so we trusted that he would tell us what was really going on. And so when the producers made the agreement that we would only talk about Christmas stuff, we decided that we would go and do that while I was out in Los Angeles. So we fly out, and I'm sitting backstage. I still have my little plaque. They put a little plaque on your door in the back that says, Glenn Beck, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And so I go backstage, and Jay comes in just to say hi real quick. And he was nice, but it was weird. It was really weird. When we walked down on the set, I could feel the disapproval from the producers, not from the average everyday person, but just from the higher ups. I could just feel it and knew we were being set up. We go out and they show us where I'm going to stand, and they show us, I think we did a cookie thing or something, my grandma's sugar cookies. And they show us where everything is, and most people would be all caught up on, we're in the Tonight Show. All of us were looking for booby traps. And so I come back to the deal, and I'm thinking, this is not gonna go well. Just not gonna go well. And I'm in the dressing room, and Stu and Pat are there. No, you weren't there, Stu?
I was there.
You were there, and a couple of other members of the team, and my wife was there. And pretty soon, this producer comes in that we had trusted, and he closes the door, and he's like, they're putting stuff into the questions now for Jay. And I said, well, no, then you guys aren't worthy of keeping your word. Then
what do you mean stuff? They put stuff.
They were putting
in the questions that we specifically told them we don't want to deal with.
I don't want to deal. We want to deal with Christmas, and they were getting into politics, and they were getting into the typical question that everybody had asked me a million times. All of those questions.
6,
why do you hate
7, 8, 9, 10
why do you hate black
that?
people?
Yeah,
all those
stuff.
stupid questions. All of them.
Yeah.
And he said, you gotta, they're putting all in right now. And I said, go tell the producer, to come in. And so he came in along with, he or she, I don't remember, and, along with Jay. And they said, look, we gotta ask these questions. And I said, why do you have to ask those questions? You want to know those? You can go and look online. Everybody has asked those questions. There's no new ground here. I'm going to answer them exactly the same way I've answered them every time. There's no new ground. And they said, and Jay said, Glenn, if I have you on, it's going to look weird that I don't ask you those questions. And I just looked at him and I said, well,
don't have me on then.
Yeah, I said, well, I guess you guys don't keep your word, so thanks very much. And they said, come on. And I looked at one of the guys. I looked at Joe, and I said, call the pilots, tell them to fire up the engines. We'll be in the airport in 20 minutes, and let's go see the Andy Williams Christmas show. And I started moving towards the door. And that's when everybody freaked out, and they were like, okay. So when I walked out, Jay Leno was introducing me, and I could see the prompter because I was standing backstage, so I could see the prompter. And when they were introducing me, the crowd went wild. There was no boos or anything. And in the prompter, it said, I see there's some boos and some controversy here. And he was reading. Not one. There was none. I got 3 standing ovations.
Yeah.
And there was no controversy, but the writers had put it into the script, into the teleprompter for him to say that. So we go out, and I'm just waiting. Is Jay going to be a man of his word? And because I don't know him. And
you don't care. I mean, in reality, it's no new ground. But if he comes and asks you a tough question, you'll handle it as you always do.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready for anything.
It was just the principle of the thing at that point.
Are you going to be a man of your word or not?
Yeah.
Are you going to? And I'm already a little smoked, but not at Jay. I'm already a little smoked because I see, the house is being set against me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reaction. That wasn't, and Jay made it look like it was an ad lib because he's good at using teleprompter, and so he's making it look like looks like there's some people there, but there wasn't anybody. So I'm thinking,
in the audience,
already
there was not a single boo.
Correct.
Not a thing.
Okay, so he says that, and so I'm like, okay, let's see if this man is a man of his word. I sit down, and the first break goes fine. And I think did we do 2 breaks or 3?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
So, and so we're having to go, I think we did 3, I can't remember, but at one point, the crowd I get a standing ovation. We're going into break, and he says, we'll be back, and Glenn's going to share his grandma's sugar cookie recipe or whatever. And the crowd stands up, and they're applauding, and Jay reaches over, and he puts his hand on my microphone and his microphone while the crowd is really going crazy, and he said, you know, we're not all that different. Now, he didn't say he agrees with me politically, because I don't think he does, but he said, we're really not all that different. We actually probably have an awful lot in common. And I thought, you know, well, there's something. So the show ends. Jay's a man of his word. I'm flying out. This is a year later. I'm flying out to Los Angeles, and it's my birthday. And my wife, I'm supposed to be working on my birthday, and, you know, we have nothing planned for me. It's just another day. But unbeknownst to me, my wife calls Jay Leno and says, Jay, it's Glenn's birthday, and he really wants to see your car collection. Is there any way he could just go in and see your car collection? Not assuming that Jay Leno is going to, you know, be there.
Yeah, like you do a tour without him there.
Yeah, right. Okay, Jay Leno's not going to show up.
Right.
And he says, absolutely. And so my wife tells me as we're landing in Burbank, she says, by the way, we're going to go over and see Jay Leno's car collection. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And she said, no. And I'm really excited just to see the cars. The car pulls up, and Jay is there at the warehouse, out front, ready to meet us. And we get out, and he is totally a different guy. I'm not talking politically. I'm talking, he's just now a guy who's a mechanic. He's just a normal guy. And we talked for a few minutes, and I said, Jay, you're not the same guy I saw on the Tonight Show. And he said, that's the role I play. And he said, that place is just, you know, it's like all places, you know. He said the people are really good, but the politics and everything. And he's not talking about national politics. He's talking about office politics. And
I'm not saying that in a bad way, that he's different. You're saying
no. He's doing he's doing his job. Yeah. Now he's who he is in real life. And all of us are different in real life. I mean, you know what I mean? You're a performer, and then you are. No, Jeffy's looking at me. I don't mean it. See, this is coming out wrong. I don't mean it that he's a different person. He is just working. So he's focused. Let me get this on the air. Let's go do this comedy bit and everything else.
Totally understandable.
Now he's just a guy who's hanging out, and he's not Jay Leno. There's Jay Leno, and then there's a guy named Jay. And so he walks us around, and he stops at one point, and he's asking me what I think about Sarah Palin. And I tell him, and he said, can I ask you? He stops, and he turns to me, and he said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. And he said, when did we become this country? I said, what do you mean? He said, when did we become this country where if you vote differently than me, I have to hate you? And I said, I don't know, Jay, but it's wrong. And he said, I know it is. And if we lose this, we're in real trouble. Now, he may have been lecturing me. I don't know. He may have been teaching me. He may have been commiserating with me, or he may have been lecturing me. I don't know. He was so soft-spoken and so kind about it. My son was probably 4 or 5 at the time, and he runs towards this Bugatti, this like 1929 Bugatti that's expensive. And Rafe is it's like slow motion. I see Rafe running towards the door with his jam hands and whoa. And I said to him, Rafe, stop. And Rafe just stops. And Jay looks at me and he said, oh, Rafe, go ahead. Open up the door, crawl inside. And he looks at me and he said, you know what? What's the use of having stuff like this if you can't enjoy it? It's just a car, man. That is one of the most down-to-earth, good, solid guys I've ever met. I don't remember what it was. I called Jay about 2 months ago and just had a conversation, off the air. There's something going on. I don't remember what it was. And I called him up. And again, exactly the same guy. Just really cool, really nice, and a guy that I quite honestly, I think we need to be more like. I tweeted last night, beyond comedian, beyond everything else, beyond, great host of The Tonight Show, great comedian, he is truly a great man. And if we were more like Jay Leno, if we would have talked less about his monologue and more about how he lived his life and who he really is as a person, I think America would be a better place. It is a really bittersweet day. Jay Leno is going to go on, and he's not going to be like Johnny Carson that just disappears. Jay Leno is going to go on and do many, many great things. I wish he would do them with the Blaze, but I don't think that's in the card. But he is a great, great man, and he's going to go on and do many, many things. But this was an opportunity in a sea of filth and everything else, and anger and everything else. Jay Leno tried to show us every night we don't have to be that way. We can be better. Good man.
Let me tell you something, Glenn.
888-727-BECK.
Get off my phone!
The Blaze Radio Network.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Rand Paul is going to be in with us at the bottom of the next hour.
Where?
Here in the studio.
In the studio. Where's he going to sit?
He's probably going to sit at your desk.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No. I'm sick of moving for every guest that comes in.
There's no place else to put him in the 16,000 square foot studio.
There's plenty of space here. Find some of it.
So anyway, I don't know why you're hostile to Senator Paul.
I like Senator Paul, but I also like my seat. This is my job.
So you stand right here. So anyway,
I don't want to be near you.
So anyway, here's the thing. Senator Paul is going to be with us, and you don't want to miss that. If, for instance, your station doesn't carry hour number 3, or you happen to be like, oh, Glenn, I've got a job, I've got to go to work, whatever. So do I. I listen to every last second of the show every day.
That's
okay,
because we're committed.
That's exactly right. We are committed.
There's just a commitment level there.
Yeah. Well, they also pay us to listen to the whole thing. Yeah. But anyway, still. You can get it on the podcast. Just go to glennbeck.com/podcast. Every day you can listen to the podcast absolutely free. And you can also listen to all of the other shows on Blaze Radio and at your convenience whenever you want to listen to it. Podcast, glennbeck.com/podcast. Rand has just put together a website. I think this is his website, defendthefourth.com. I haven't looked at it yet. I don't know. I don't know what maybe it's the 4th of July he's talking about. Maybe he was the 4th child. I'm not really sure what that is, but defendthefourth.com. We'll talk about that and so much more with Senator Rand Paul coming up.
The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network. You're listening to the Glenn Beck Program.
All right, so we want to do Jim Jordan, the shutdown of the attempted shutdown of the Tea Party leader yesterday. Also, Trey Gowdy. So let's kind of go through Capitol Hill and little things that have happened, and some people with some spine. Let's start. We want to start with Jim Jordan, or where do you want to start?
Yeah, we'll start with Jim Jordan. He's he jumps in here because Jerry Connolly, who's a Democrat from Virginia, is trying to make this Tea Party woman look foolish in her belief that the IRS targeted her OSHA targeted her. The FBI targeted her. He kept saying, well, is this standard operating procedure for OSHA to just show up at your place of business? So this is kind of going on. And then Jim Jordan, who's chairing the committee, kind of breaks in here.
But it's a huge leap then, given that, to conclude that someone's out to get you, Miss Engelbrecht.
So this is Jerry Connolly being very condescending.
And let me say, have you no shame?
Yeah, they
Congressman, have you no shame?
Yeah.
No.
That there's any political motivation whatsoever with OSHA following its standard operating procedures.
But Mr. Connolly, you're aware that the information from the IRS is shared with other agents. I'm sorry.
Mr. Sekulow,
Gentlemen's time has expired.
Thank you.
Miss Engelbrecht, in the first 20 years of business, did OSHA ever visit your place of business?
Great question. So now Jim Jordan showing why it's a problem, perhaps, that OSHA showed up at her place of business.
No, sir.
Never once?
No, sir.
After you filed the application, OSHA visited then, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in the first 20 years of business, did the ATF ever come to your business?
No, sir.
Okay. And they came a couple times once you filed your application?
Yes, sir.
Right. And in your first 20 years of business, did the IRS ever audit you?
No, sir.
But once you filed your application, did they audit you?
Many times.
Okay. And in your first 20 years of business, did the FBI ever visit you?
No, sir.
But once you filed your application, did they visit you?
6 times.
But Mr. Connolly wants us all to believe that's a coincidence.
I mean,
I would recognize the...
So now Connolly's jumping in without his microphone on.
OSHA never came to Mr. Engelbrecht's place of business. Yes, I was. And in 20 years of business, OSHA never visited, FBI never visited,
Poking my name,
IRS
Mr.
never
Chairman.
audited. Okay, well, you can respond. Even though I gave you plenty of extra time, I'll give you some more.
Thank you.
You got the gentleman's recognized for a minute.
So where is the proof, though, other than you're connecting dots that may or may not be connected, that OSHA...
Stop.
Is that amazing?
This is what
That's
amazing. This is what they tried to do to me. This is yesterday when I said that John Kerry is part of the boycott of Israel. And he is using that boycott to pressure Israel and delegitimize Israel while threatening Israel with that boycott and trying to look like they're friends. They'll say, well, what's your connection? How can you possibly say that? Well, the fact that his wife, the boycott is being done by Oxfam. John Kerry's wife has given millions to Oxfam. John Kerry has given millions to the Tides Foundation, I don't know the exact number on that one, but money to the Tides Foundation. Tides Foundation gives money to Oxfam. The United States government has a board of directors of Oxfam now in the White House.
But what proof do you have, Glenn, other than the dots you may or may not connect? What are you talking about?
It's crazy. It's
you can't
crazy.
Even use your head in these situations anymore.
This is another reason why when we say, don't believe me, I don't want you to believe me, do your own homework. Everything in our society, everything our government is doing is not promoting the general welfare. They are not promoting the general welfare. They're not. They are telling you, become a slave of the state. And when I say this, I mean this. The GAO actually made the case yesterday that you're going to be better off. Yes, 2.5 million people are going to lose their health insurance. Yes, we know that. But they're going to also lose their job, but they'll be able to work part-time, and they'll be in a better position because they'll get benefits from the government. So what are they doing? They're saying, you're going to be better off because you're just going to do what we say. You're going to be better off because you're going to be living off of us. That's not better off. There is no parent. We're watching the Waltons right now. And the kids and I were watching the Waltons every night. Last night, the family got together, and we were watching episode number 2. In episode number 2, the circus comes to town, and John Boy is thinking about leaving. And his mom is like, I wish those circus people wouldn't have ever come to town. How many times have you said that? I wish those circus people wouldn't have ever come to town. And Dad says, why? Because John Boy's going to leave us. And the father says, yes, he is. He's not going to leave now, but he is. Eventually, he is going to leave home. I don't want to. I don't think I can handle it. Okay, that's normal that mom would feel that way. And dad wouldn't want, the kid to leave. But if mom is still saying that when John Boy is 35, not 17, when the parents are doing everything to trap their kids in the home, you call somebody and say, this family is sick and needs help. You call somebody and say, we got to get our friends together, our church together, but we need to have a talk because they're crippling this child. That's what our government is doing, crippling all of us. They want us as their children to live under their roof all time and not go and be who we're supposed to be and be our own independent people. That's not promoting the general welfare. And so what are they doing? They don't want you to use your noodle. They don't want you to be thinking. They don't want you to be able to tie these things together and think for yourself. They are discouraging critical thought. There's just no way a society lasts with a government like this.
Politically motivated.
I didn't say proof. I'm just saying you want us all to believe it's a coincidence.
Oh, well, and you want us all to believe that by innuendo there must be something
15 times
wrong.
In a 2-year time frame, 4 different federal agencies visit this lady's place of business, audit her personal and business records, and you expect us to believe that just
I don't expect you to believe. I don't expect you to believe anything. You can believe whatever you choose to believe.
You can believe it's all a coincidence. I refuse to do that.
No, I didn't say that either. I believe in fact-based, empirical oversight and innuendo and drawing conclusions.
Innuendo.
This is so.
Innuendo. The fact is, 15 times agencies visited her after she filed. They had never visited before. 15 times after. I don't think that's innuendo.
Here's another one that nobody will tie. Nobody will tie. And the reason why nobody will tie it is because either they are not smart enough to see it because it's not in their purview, or the Republicans were part of this problem, and so they don't want to bring it up. Cass Sunstein. The whole nudge theory. This fits into the theory of Cass Sunstein. You don't ever tell them no. You just nudge people. You use regulation to nudge people and get them to behave the way they want. They have hired, both the Republicans and the Democrats, they have hired behavioral scientists and put them in charge of the regulations. So what do you think? You think that's a coincidence that the guy who wrote Nudge, he wrote the book? That is their whole theory. Put the French fries behind. Put the carrots in front. So all they're using are regulations, which Cass Sunstein was in charge of, using regulations to be able to nudge people. You touch that, you're going to get burned. You touch this small government rail, you're going to get burned. You're going to get hurt. Don't touch it again. Don't touch it again. That's what they're doing, nudging. This is not some conspiracy theory. This is a book called Nudge, written by Cass Sunstein, in charge of all the regulations. Hello. What a bunch of morons.
You're connecting dots that may or may not.
I know.
Glenn. That's
Can
really
you give me the
wrong
Trey
of you to
Gowdy?
do. Yeah, here's the Trey Gowdy, where he's, you remember the president talking about there wasn't a smidgen of corruption in the IRS?
Did you hear the president say there was not a smidgen of corruption?
I've heard that he said that, yes, sir.
Ms. Garrison, did you hear the president say there was not a smidgen of corruption? And let me just translate that, because smidgen's not a legal term. I assume he meant scintilla, and I assume he meant criminality instead of corruption. How was he able to make that conclusion? Neither of you have been interviewed by the Bureau, have you?
No, sir.
And according to Mr. Sekulow, of his 41 clients, 3 have been interviewed, or 3 were asked to be interviewed.
Right. Not interviewed yet.
Okay. 0 of 41 have actually been interviewed.
Correct.
All right. So the president says there's not a smidgen of criminality or corruption. Do either of you remember seeing a witness named Lois Lerner sitting at the very table y'all are sitting at? Do you remember her invoking her Fifth Amendment privilege? The same privilege that she targeted some of your groups for trying to educate people about. Some of your groups just want to simply educate people about the Constitution, the one that she availed herself of the very second she was exposed to criminal investigation.
I don't know why.
So how can the president say there's not a smidgen of criminality when Lois Lerner invoked the Fifth Amendment? 41 witnesses haven't been interviewed, including the 2 that are here right now.
Amazing.
How can he possibly draw that conclusion?
Again, he's connecting dots there that may or may not connect.
Trey Gowdy
you can't even use your head.
Trey Gowdy is a good man.
Yeah,
I've talked to Trey Gowdy, and I really like him, and I think he's really led by God, and he listens, and and I think he is there to do where he's there to stand where he's supposed to stand.
Is that he's getting? I prayed about it. I'm not supposed to run against Lindsey Graham. Pray again. You might have.
I've encouraged him to pray again. Pray early, pray often.
Try it again.
And then start this. You know what, God, you're wrong. Okay,
that always works out well.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah, that goes well.
I told Trey, I did that the first half of my life, and look where I am.
Look where you are.
Okay,
look where you were.
Wait, hold it just a second. Well, there's no reason to. You're connecting dots that things went poorly in my life. I'm about empirical evidence.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any evidence that God messed up in his life at all?
That happened.
Even
had anything to
involved?
do with me
No.
saying you're wrong, God? I'm going to do it my way.
No.
Anything?
There's no empirical evidence of that.
None. Okay, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. Thanks.
Got something to say?
888-727-BECK.
Dial in
Hello? Go ahead.
and let it out.
The Blaze Radio Network.
The Glenn Beck Program.
Pat is making a very good point here.
I think so.
There is a network that does not have a late night show.
There's nothing on. There's a rerun or something, but there's no live late night talk show.
No.
With a host like, I don't know, pick one. Jay Leno, let's say.
Right. On a new network.
Too bad he's already... Well, wait a minute. Wasn't last night his final night?
Oh, my gosh. I've never thought of that. I never thought of that. Now, we were just doing the calculation. Jay Leno is now making $38 million a year, and he has made this for 20 years. Now, so he
22.
averaged 22.
So let's say he didn't start that at that. I think it was around 20 or 25. But let's say you average 30 over those 22 years. That's $660 million. Now, he lives
would it be $666 million? Because if it's 666,
no,
okay, because we could never hire him.
Million.
Okay.
But let's say he banked, because he says he banked it all, and
he lives off his he lives off his comedy nightclub stuff.
But you got to cut that in half for taxes. So
no, he lives in California. It's down to $14 million now.
Okay, so let's say it's $300 million.
Yeah.
That he banked over those years. $300 million. He doesn't need a massive salary to do something that he absolutely loves, right?
Am I right?
So
he's a creature of habit, though. When he said, "Why don't you go to ABC?" He means because I don't know those people there. A lot of people don't know. He wears like a uniform. He has a denim shirt, jeans, same shoes, same socks, everything. He wears every single day. That's what's in his closet. He has the same breakfast and lunch, and I think dinner every single day. I've been told
for like a year, right?
For like a year, and at the end of the year, he'll say, "You know what? I want something different for breakfast and lunch," and then he has that for a year.
Yeah,
he is a massive creature of habit. And he can make those habits right here at the Blaze. I'm just saying.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
You're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
All right. Rand Paul is going to be with us in just a few minutes. And we've got quite a few things to chat with Mr. Paul about. Senator Paul, as he likes to be called.
He's worked so hard for that title.
Yeah, so please don't call him Mr.
I know. Who was that? Barbara Boxer that said that? Yeah, that was great. I work hard for that title. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse us.
Anyway, Senator Paul is going to be with us in just a few minutes, and I have a solution to Stu's been upset all morning that I always ask him to move, and we set our guest right there. I have a solution.
Well, we know you have a solution. We worked it out like 7:45 this morning before the show even started, where we said, okay, Stu will pretend like he's pissed off about moving all the time, and we'd use it as an excuse.
Wait a minute.
We talked about this. It's what we talked about before the show even began.
Holy cow. So this whole thing has been an elaborate ruse?
Yeah, did he pull it off so well that
I thought you were really upset about this, because I just was out in the hallway and I thought, let's put Senator Paul right here. We have this open desk right behind me.
Yeah, in the Oval Office, so we could make him look presidential. That was the whole thing in the first place.
Holy cow.
So that we could make him look presidential over there and pretend that Stu was pissed. So that's the only place. I mean, we had that worked out before the show.
I had no clue. Well, let's keep this to ourselves, because I'm sure Senator Paul, I'm just doing it because I thought Stu was really, and it's the only place, the only empty desk we have.
So did we do this so well that we tricked even you when you were on the planning
Well,
stage?
I've been having a hard time with my memory lately. So who are you again?
I'm the CEO of this company.
Oh, yeah. Nice to meet you, sir. Anyway, now I'm sure Rand is going to he'll be thrilled to sit behind the Oval Office and the desk there and the big.
What do they call it? The whatchamacallit desk?
The resolution
desk.
Yeah, the resolution desk.
That's right.
Where he signs all those resolutions.
Yes, that's
right.
What
that's what it's called,
resolution
right?
desk.
Yeah, the resolution desk.
You resolve things there.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is right in front, it had a little trap door. See John there, and that's just in case. And that's just in case Woody Allen is ever president.
Really?
Yeah.
So if his I won't even go there.
So he's got his daughter or something.
Okay, you went there.
Yeah, because I was going to say there's really not a need to explain that. I think everyone knew what you were going.
Really?
Yeah, I think people understood.
Misunderstood again.
Yeah,
I thought you guys didn't know where I was going.
No, I did.
I am. This is a confusing show.
Yeah, you're really confused.
There's a lot of layers to this show that
You're just learning that.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, you helped to build the layers. It's kind of weird.
I did.
It's weird. Yeah.
Who the hell are you again?
The CEO and president.
And
president of the company.
Is that why we have the resolution desk
right
here?
That's my desk.
I didn't have any idea.
I'm willing to let Rand use it for a little while.
Okay. That's big of you. He's going to appreciate it.
I'm nicer than Stu is.
Right. So I think he's going to enjoy sitting. Now, I don't know if you saw that we're setting up an interview because I have an in-depth interview with him that will air next week on the network. What network is it again? It's theblaze.com, and if you don't have it, I'm sure there's something you could do, but we'll try to figure that out later. But we have him on for an in-depth interview next week where I'm going to talk to him about a few things. But last night, and I swear to you, this is the way it happened. Last night, we were putting something up for this Fourth Amendment, and I said, let's just set up, in the atrium of our building. I said, let's just set it up there and put it by the big New York Times thing and put the Fourth Amendment artwork right behind Rand Paul. And we are having these things made. We're facelifting this whole building over the next few months, and so we have this really cool kind of graffiti artwork that's going up. And one of them
is cool too.
Yeah, one of them is the drone, the NSA drone, and it says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against reasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And it shows a hunter with a shotgun, kind of shooting, up or aiming at the NSA drone. And we had this space in between because it was it just happened to be a little short, about 3 feet short.
Not very good planning.
Yeah, it wasn't good planning. And so we decided just to get some spray paint and just put Rand Paul 2016 down the middle of it.
I thought you said earlier, because you earlier said that someone happened to do it and you didn't know about it. And now you're saying you did it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, is that because, Pat, we planned that earlier when we were going to say that?
Is that what it was? Because I don't know what
you're
talking about there. I don't know who did that with spray paint, and I'm really pissed, and we're not going to be able to get it off during until the interview is over, because we're right on top of it. I hope he doesn't mind that we're making it look like he's announcing something. Some people think that we are trapping people. For instance, Ted Cruz comes on. We may only have that desk available for him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be very angry that day, I'll tell you that.
I don't know what.
As angry as you were today?
Maybe even angrier.
And refusing to give up your seat?
Yeah, I will not get up from this seat.
Wow.
For these,
you're a tough. Is this part of the act?
Yeah, no, it's part of the act. We planned this earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you guys are good. Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
We just like to hurry up with it and just make the announcement. And if they're not going to make the announcement, we're just going to make it for them.
I'm sure
he's going to. Rand is going to be on today, and let's just throw it out there. He's running for president.
Maybe we should ask him if he's running for president.
Oh, and I have another announcement. Jay Leno starts on this network next fall.
I think we should ask him too.
I think if you speak,
you will it into existence.
You just speak it into existence.
Yes.
Just speak it into existence.
I like that.
Rand Paul 2016, Jay Leno starts this fall on The Blaze. Oh, by the way, Jay Leno, immediately after your local news, which follows Duck Dynasty, now 5 days a week on The Blaze.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's happening. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Anyway, so Rand Paul will be with us in just a minute.
Do we start with the potentially contentious Mitch McConnell question, or do we end with that?
Well, now he might be in his car listening. Mm-hmm. So now you've told him that we're going to do that.
Well, I want him to be prepared for it.
Why do you want to be prepared for it?
Because I don't like, surprising, we never like to sandbag people. We always tell them that, we're going to ask you some tough questions. You got to be prepared for that. Don't you think?
All right. So
now he's prepared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we tell him about the question that we have about what Sun Yi has told us about Rand?
No, we don't. No, not that one.
We spring that on him?
Spring that one on him.
Was that in the meeting earlier?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Okay. Man. All right, so that's coming up in just a second. Let me tell you about our sponsor. I don't know. Let's just get that out of the way. Let's get the announcement that he's running for president, and then right to the Mitch McConnell, because I don't understand it. Because, Stu is really right. Because I've been hoping, I've just been like, okay, he's saying that it's Mitch McConnell, but he's saying that he's playing a different game than his dad, and he's never going to say any of this, and I just don't think I don't want to ask him because what is he going to say? What is he going to say? I told Matt Bevin that I think when the curtain is closed, he's going to pull the Matt Bevin lever.
What did Matt say about that? Did he buy that? Or?
No, I don't. He's not going to comment on it. He just laughed. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think Rand Paul could say, "Oh, Mitch, you were the best. You're the tippity top. You're the. If it wasn't Coke, you'd be it. I mean, it's that. That's how I. And then close that curtain. Matt Bevin. That lever's pulled. That's what I think is happening.
Stimulate all your senses.
TheBlaze.com/TV. The Blaze Radio Network.
On air, online, in your pocket. Find out all the ways to listen at theblaze.com/radio.
We were thinking about Leno's first day being 9/12. That was the launch of the network originally. In case you just missed it, Jay Leno, we're announcing today that Jay Leno begins on this network, The Blaze, September 12th.
You're just saying it.
We're just speaking things
I'm just announcing
into existence.
There's nothing
today.
to it. I'm just announcing. I'm speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, what does he have to do? Nothing. Right? He doesn't have a gig lined up.
No, he's got cars.
Yeah, he's got.
What are you going to do with all those cars? You can drive them here.
You're going to need gas money eventually, and we could, help you with that.
Such a nice guy.
It's about it.
Yeah, it's about it.
Yeah, we can't do any more than that, but we can get you some gas money.
No, he can use one of the, he can use the back lot here. He can park his cars back here if you'd like.
Sure. So
I'm gonna have to charge him because I can't.
Right.
Obviously. I mean, look, we're poor. Okay, we are the poorest network on the air. That's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I mean, it took 3 years for Oprah. She was hemorrhaging cash for 3 years? It's now 3 years into it, and they're still hemorrhaging cash, but she actually has viewers now. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, she was like one of the shows got like 3 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
she's had some big shows on that network. The Lance Armstrong thing is huge.
No, I think she's actually the network's actually starting to perform a little bit.
Oh, good for her.
Which is good for her. It only took $500 million flushed down the toilet. Which, by the way, I'd like to remind you: if you're going to Russia, don't fish in the toilets. Don't fish in the toilets.
What am I supposed to do then if I go there? I mean,
I'm not sure what those little white things are. Maybe you put flowers.
Are they really
toilet?
saying not to fish in the toilet?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
There's a sign.
Oh no, there's a sign. The international sign, and the international sign is
no fishing
for like the Somalis and for the people in Africa. They have this up in Minnesota. They'll have international signs next to the toilet that show a guy standing on the toilet seat, squatting on the toilet seat, with his feet on the toilet seat, squatting over it.
Because that's how some people would use a bathroom.
They would not sit down on it. They would squat over it because all they're used to is a hole in the ground. And so they don't know how to use it. So you have to, this is happening now in Minnesota. You have to have signs that say don't squat over the toilet. So there's like don't squat over the toilet. One is don't drink out of the toilet.
Oh, I thought that was vomit. It looked like the guy was throwing up, but you're saying he's drinking out of the...
You can't vomit in the toilet?
I don't know. It's Russia. I don't know what weird thing. You can't put the toilet paper in the toilet in Russia, so maybe you can't vomit in Russia, too.
Where am I supposed to vomit, then? Because that's one of the things I enjoy doing all day is vomiting.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're in Russia and you're drinking the vodka, of course you're vomiting in the toilet. You're in Russia. Okay, so they have and the other one is they have a guy with a fishing pole with the line into the toilet with a big international red, line through it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Bizarre.
Now, I have to tell you something.
Bizarre.
I'm kind of curious. I want to fish.
Mm-hmm.
I want to fish in the toilet. I've never tried that before. I mean, why can't I just put a fishing line down there with a hook? I mean, let's see what we catch. Is there anything we might catch? Because it might be really gonna. I mean, you're going to give up. What's the problem? Why is this hurting you to fish in the toilet? Seriously, why would they have a sign? Don't fish in the toilet. It's not going to hurt the toilet. It's a little fishing hook.
I really don't know.
Right. So, I mean, is there a chance you catch something in the toilet?
And maybe it's dangerous. Whatever you catch in there is dangerous, and that's why they don't want you doing it.
What could be dangerous living in the Russian sewers?
An alligator, just like the New York sewers.
There are 6 things that are listed on the sign. One is to sit on the toilet, which is what you're supposed to do. Then there are 5 things that are X'd out. The first one is standing up and going pee in the toilet.
I don't understand that one.
Don't do that.
Why can't you do that?
I thought that was pretty... I mean, it's one of the 2 things you kind of do in there.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a man.
Right.
I mean, if you're a woman, I don't suggest that you stand in front of the toilet and pee.
These are men. And the men, there's a clear international drawing of a male doing these things. Then you had one, which you pointed out, I think correctly, is drinking.
Hold on just a second.
Don't drink out of the toilet.
Oh, no, hold on just a second. What is the clear... How do you know it's a man? All international people look the same unless there's a little skirt.
Skirt, yeah. And there's always the skirt, the international skirt.
Well, you wouldn't be... How would you have... You wouldn't have... You would lift up your skirt if you're going to pee. So you
Sorry, the Russians don't involve themselves in gender specificity.
Yeah, they do, actually.
No.
You may know by the recent laws they've passed.
They kind of do, actually.
So look at this. So the first one is sitting. The second one is peeing, which is weird. I guess they want you to use the urinal.
Yeah, it's drinking.
The
I
next
think
one,
that's drinking.
Is that drinking? His head's above the toilet. It looks like to me he's vomiting in the toilet.
Well, his arms seem to be... he might be vomiting, so no vomiting in the toilet. Who knew that?
Okay. Then the next one is squatting on top. Okay, you're not supposed to do that. The one is fishing. What is that last one? To describe it to the radio audience, there is a guy...
at the toilet.
His foot seems to be at the front of the toilet. His legs are spread out. He is angled away from the toilet.
Oh, I know what that one is.
And he has looks like maybe a hot dog in his hand.
No, this one, Philip Seymour Hoffman could have used this one. This is don't jam intravenous drugs into your arm by the toilet.
It could be that, I guess.
Look, he looks like he's got
look like that.
He looks like he's got an inner. So don't do drugs, and you don't want to die with your pants down in the toilet.
Is that it?
Do it in another room where you'll OD. Just don't die in the toilet because it's Philip Seymour Hoffman and Elvis.
Yeah.
And
I like that better than don't drink, but I think that one actually is the don't drink the water. And the barf one is, I mean, they're giving you the basket to put the toilet paper in. You can barf in that basket.
Yeah. But what is that?
What is the last
you
one?
have to see this.
I have no idea.
We'll tweet it out. We'll tweet it out from at World of Stew and at Glenn Beck.
Is there anybody on the floor? Anybody on the floor that knows what that is? You're guessing what? No graffiti in the toilet? Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
But that could be a
he might be writing on the wall
can.
or something. Yeah.
But why is he squatting below the level of the toilet?
And can I do graffiti in all the other rooms? I mean, it's just like not next to the toilet, please.
What kind of
when the construction is done, you'll be able to put graffiti.
World guests from all over.
Guests are they expecting?
People
really?
from people from Tibet, people from Somalia,
cultures.
different cultures.
I want to know what culture fishes in a toilet.
I've never heard.
No,
of
they've never seen a toilet. They've never seen a toilet. That's the point.
The people who have never seen a toilet are not going to the Olympics. They're not going there. They're not going to be there.
Yes,
no,
they
they're
are.
not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. No, they're not. It's too expensive.
I mean, they did just fly in a magical airplane to get there. I mean, you think first of all, there's a toilet in there. I don't know.
Guys, we have the squat thing happening in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, the squat thing is legitimate. I would say there's probably just as many people who go to the bathroom like that than do as we are used to doing it. But I don't know if there's that many people who fish in the toilet.
First of all, I disagree with number 2, and the second box.
Yes.
And the third box.
Which are the peeing and
you can stand up and pee in the toilet, and you can, if it's drinking, I disagree, but if it is vomiting in the toilet, where else do you vomit? Seriously, where else do you vomit?
I don't know. And the peeing thing, they're saying no,
if your toilet can't handle my vomit, how can it handle stuff on the other side? Seriously.
I don't think. The craziest thing, and the thing that made me most happy that I grew up in America, was people were tweeting these photos around saying, like, look at this sign, and the sign says, you can't flush toilet paper down the toilet, and they have please put it in the bin provided, and there's a bin there. And I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. And the follow-up tweets were, hey, stop making fun. Most people around the world don't have plumbing systems that can handle toilet paper. Is that really? Because if that's true, man, am I happy to be American. I'm going to bust out some Lee Greenwood right now.
Can I tell you something? We don't have any idea how lucky we have it. We just think that and everybody's culture and everybody's country is just the same. No, if you have those signs there where you can't barf or use the toilet paper and flush that down the toilet, you got a problem. You got a real problem.
It's huge, yeah. And they spent, again, let's not forget, $51 billion to get ready for these games. And you're not ready. You don't have a toilet system,
now,
a sewer system.
Let me ask you this, though.
That can handle toilet paper?
Can I ask you this? We're looking at this perhaps all wrong. Is there an even greater society where you can actually fish in your toilet and get good fish to eat?
Maybe we're the suckers.
Maybe we're the suckers. We're like, I want to go to the place where you can fish and get good fish out of the toilet.
It's a whole new perspective.
It really is. I think the leftists might be right.
Thank you.
Suckers.
We suck over here.
We'll see if Rand Paul knows what that last box is on what you can't do. And he's announcing his candidacy for presidency.
I don't think he's
coming up in just a second. And don't forget, Jay Leno begins on this network. 912. We wish.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
You're listening to the Glenn Beck Program.
No, I'm the only. Mr. Rand Paul is going to be with us. Senator Rand Paul is going to be with us in just a few minutes. Oh, he's delayed a little bit. The snow. Oh, the snow. Look, I mean, really?
In Dallas, you're going to try to use that excuse?
Yeah,
Come on, it snows here all the time.
All the time.
We're professionals at moving snow.
We've got one snowplow for the entire Metroplex, okay? So don't tell me that we can't clear roads.
We actually have 4.
No, I think we have one.
For the entire DFW Metroplex. I think Dallas has one.
Okay.
But they could borrow 3 from Fort Worth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So don't tell me.
So
we've got 12-lane highways and we have 4 snowplows. It's crazy. It is crazy when it snows. Yesterday it was like 1 o'clock and we had, I'm not kidding you, half an inch and it was starting to taper off and everybody's like, I think we all should go home. We should go to the store and we should go home because we're not going to be able to move. But Rand Paul will be with us in just a few minutes, running just a little bit late. Let me go to Michael in Pennsylvania. Hello, Michael. You're on the Glenn Beck program.
Hello. I wanted to speak to the greatness of Jay Leno.
Okay.
I made him a gift, and through some connections, I was able to get it to him. And he dropped everything, called me on the phone, left a really lengthy, very positive, awesome message. He didn't have to do that. And it just speaks to his greatness and humanness.
What gift did you make him?
Also, probably his lack of stuff to do.
What did I make him? I made him a functioning turbine jet ring to match a jet engine he put in a car that he made.
Jeez, you've never made us anything like that.
Yeah, where's my ring?
I'll make you something.
Where's my jet engine ring?
I'll make you one.
I want to be a part of that club.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's a functioning jet engine.
Yeah.
So, does my finger take off? Can it?
Well, you can see it running right before I sent it out to L.A. My son took a video of it with me the first time we fired it up in my wife's kitchen.
Wait. It is actually a functioning jet engine ring? It's not it just kind of spins? It actually...
Oh, it spins. It's like 40,000 RPM. A big fireball. Amazing.
That's amazing.
What the hell? Do you have this on YouTube or anything?
Well, I have it on my website. I can
what is
tell
your
you
website?
either on or off the air where to see it.
Well, no, you can tell me the website, but I'll tell you it's going to crash. So, luckily, we're in delay because we can get to it quickly.
Yeah, I can. Do you want me to tell you?
Dead. Yeah, go ahead.
It's WarrenJewelers.com, and go over to media, and then click down to Hollywood Jeweler, and it'll show the ring running with me holding it, giant fireball, and then the message that Jay Leno.
Oh, so you're
cool.
Okay. Hang on. So you've got a jet engine ring, but you can hold it while it's been fired up. So it's obviously not very powerful.
All the hair off my arms and my eyebrows and everything. You have to see it. It's amazing.
That's great, Michael. Hang on the phone just a sec. I do want to get some information from you. That is fantastic. Let me go to Nick in Pittsburgh. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Glenn. Thanks for taking my call. It's such an honor to speak to you.
Thank you. I want you to know we kicked your ass in 1776, and we'll do it again if we have to.
Well, we already did in 1812.
Thank you very much.
And we'll do it a third time.
Don't screw with us. Now, let's put that behind us and move on. Go ahead, Nick.
It's very uniting.
Actually, I agree with the chap that was at the Prairie Valley Forge, so I'm actually on the right side of things.
Good for you for knowing that. Go ahead.
I actually have a theory about Rand Paul, why he's supporting Mitch McConnell.
I'd love to hear it.
And that is he's covering his bets for when he does announce his run in 2016. Because if he comes out and supports Matt Bevin, then the old crusty rhinos that shouldn't have a job will then have ammunition against him.
Yes.
But if he supports Mitch McConnell, then he can then use leverage with all the
I will tell you
rhinos.
that, Nick, I think you're right, and I think he's taking a lifetime of experience of his dad, speaking frankly, and seeing what the old crusty rhinos do. And maybe that's what he's doing. He runs a great risk, and I'm going to talk to him about this. If we have time, if he makes it in time on the radio, otherwise on the special that'll run next week. But he's taking a great risk of alienated people like me who say, I don't want somebody who's in bed with old crusty rhinos. So, it's a very, very dangerous game. But, that's the world of Washington.
Yes, it is, but we need more people like Rand, Ted, and Mike so we can eliminate these political games.
guy before.
No, but I know, but Nick might have one. I don't know.
Oh, well,
apparently, everybody gets one in the mail nowadays.
Yeah. Except us.
Yeah. He could.
Last week, actually.
Oh, there you are. Nick, you got one last week?
Yes.
Holy cow. Be careful. You've never sucked anybody into one of that. Anyway, so what do you, so do you think that is a good thing or a bad thing that he's doing this?
From a political standpoint, I think for his running for president, which he will do in 2016,
I know he's announcing today.
I think it's a good thing. However, it speaks to the inherent darkness of Washington, where people need to actually think like that, where they should just stand on their truths and their beliefs, and the consequences be damned.
The only thing I'll say about that is, for example, Ted Cruz, who's been on this program, has people he seems to genuinely really like and is not endorsing them, like Greg Abbott. I mean, he speaks
His
really
old
highly,
boss.
but
they speak highly of each other.
I think that's the way you do it.
Yeah,
you just don't
leave it
endorse.
alone.
You just leave it alone. You say, look,
But Rand Paul's gone a step past that. He's endorsed Mitch McConnell.
That's the way because that's the way we are. We don't endorse anybody.
Never.
You'll know I like this person. I don't like this person. I like Ted Cruz. I like Rand Paul. I like Mike Lee. I trust those three senators. I think those guys are great. Which one do I want for president of the United States? Well, that's for me to decide in the voting booth, and that's for you to decide in the voting booth. But I like all three of those guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to endorse, and I'll help all three of them. I just want a Liberty guy in there. I just want a Liberty guy. And, is there somebody that I would pull for more than the other at this point? Yeah, probably. Which one? I don't know. None of your business. None of your business. And it shouldn't be. I shouldn't be doing that. That's not my job. My job is not to endorse. Well, his senator is here now. Senator, how are you, sir?
I thought you were endorsing me, Glenn. That's why I said I'd come on your program.
Well, I thought you were going to announce that you're running for president in 2016.
Oh, I have to tell you what I'm running for before you'll endorse me. Yeah,
so, Senator,
you're playing hard to get this morning, Glenn. I just don't think that's fair.
Can we start with the hardest question that I have for you, and it is this: why are you endorsing Mitch McConnell?
I'm here in Texas to endorse Don Huffines. We got our signals crossed here. Now, going back to Kentucky, because he asked me when there was nobody else in the race, and I said yes. And
Al Gore has asked me to change my opinion on global warming, and I don't do that. So I'm asking. Okay. If this is the way it works, if this is the way it works, I'm asking you to endorse that you're running for president in 2016 right now.
That's right. So you're endorsing me for president? I'm still really having trouble understanding you. We have a bad connection.
Yeah, we do. Well, we're looking forward to having a conversation with you today. And we're going to have a kind of an extended conversation for next week's television program. And you are in town to endorse somebody. Will you agree with me that if we lose Texas, we lose the Republic of America?
Absolutely. And, I grew up here in Texas, and Texas is the last bastion before we lose the Republic. So we have to keep Texas. And not only do we have to keep Texas, we have to figure out how to win Ohio and Illinois. And I think we can. And I think that liberty is popular. The Bill of Rights is popular. I think all of the ideas that we should be for can be popular again, but we just can't be tepid. We can't be Democrat light. And we, frankly have to stand up and say what we believe in.
And quite honestly, I don't think we can be anti-stuff anymore. We were talking today that, you look at all of the stuff that is going on. These are all pretty much the positions that I hold dear today, and I hold them dear today because I've done my homework and I have read the Constitution, and I know the Constitution. I know our founders now. It's not like I just had before some grade school understanding of it, and I was a spectator in a country. I actually know what I believe now. And I also have seen that I've been betrayed by both parties, and those principles have been betrayed by both parties. The positions that we hold, many of them, are the same positions that the people that are on the left say they hold or held, 8 years ago. we have to be a group of people that say, I don't care which party you're from, I don't care what you used to believe, as long as you really know why you believe these things now, because these are uniting principles. Nobody should be able to spy on you. Nobody should be able to, arrest you and hold you without a trial. These are really basic things, and I think it's a very uniting principle away from the parties.
Well, and you would think, and one of the things that I'll often say in speeches is I'll say, maybe we ought to read the bills before we pass them, and people chuckle. And I say, no, I'm serious. We should actually read the bills before we pass them. Maybe find out whether or not they're consistent with the Constitution. It reminds me of, from the conscience of the conservative when Barry Goldwater says, I will not ask whether legislation is needed before I have first asked whether or not it is constitutional. And that doesn't happen. It just isn't happening.
So the website Defend the Fourth Amendment, the spying on people from the NSA and the drones. I remember when we first started talking about drones, and this is under Bush, people started talking about, well, we'll use them on the border for North and South. And there were some conservatives that were like, that's good because then we can. And I said, no, you don't use those in the sky over America. We're not even having the conversation now in, Toledo, Ohio, where they're flying drones over, and the police chief are like, yeah, we want people to be afraid. We want people to know if you're doing something wrong, we're in the sky. We're going to see you. That's not good.
No, you're exactly right, and really gets back to whether or not we do believe. So many conservatives say, I'm for the Second Amendment, but I tell them you can't be for the Second Amendment unless you're for the Fourth Amendment, unless you're for the First Amendment, unless you're for the Fifth Amendment. They all go hand in hand, and we have so many folks who just say, it doesn't matter. I'm just for the Second Amendment, but you can't have it unless you have all the amendments.
I never thought that we would ever see. Is he? Oh, here he is. Come on in. Come on in. We got a seat right over. We have a seat right over here for you, Senator. Let me get my mic. Hang on. Let me get my microphone on.
So now we are watching this happen live. Should we take the break now and come back on the other side?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that.
Let me get my commercial.
We got to get him seated in a proper place because we can't have him
back with Rand Paul.
The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
Program.
We're with Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, and we found a desk for him to sit behind to do the interview. So you can just sit right there, and I'll just sit here. And you happen to be watching on TV. We're in the Oval Office, and you didn't sit in the big man's chair.
Well, what I would say is, good evening, America. I'm speaking to you from the Oval Office in Dallas, Texas. And if you're listening to me now, we had to remove the capital to Texas because it was the only place left in the country where there was economic freedom and economic growth.
You know what? I can actually hear that. This is the only place where there's any kind of economic freedom.
Yeah, and you'd think maybe there'd be a lesson. They said the states would be these experimental areas where people would see what worked and what didn't work. Right. What's working in Texas? Right to work, low taxes, no state income tax. Why don't we spread that around the country?
I know. What, you're sitting in, this was actually the set for JFK, the movie, Oliver Stone's movie, JFK. Why would you, seriously. Nobody really wants to be president anymore, because it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
Right.
What would be what drives you to sit behind that, if that would?
Somewhat fear of the future, but somewhat hope for the future as well. The fear is that if we keep going in the direction we are, we're all going to be enslaved in some way. And if we stand up, I think it's not too late. And I think there's such greatness that our country was founded upon. There's still a greatness left in this country. And I'm just disappointed that we keep choosing the easy way out. We choose the easy way out, but the easy way out isn't really helping people. It's actually hurting the people that they claim they're helping.
And we've only got, how much time do we have? About a minute? 60 seconds. We're going to go and tape something for television next week, and I want to talk to you about technology, because I know you're a